why successful people feel ashamed of their achievements, all right. This is going to be a deep dive into something not a lot of people are willing to talk about. We live in a world where success is glorified. We're taught to strive for it, to reach for the top, to win. But here's the paradox: why do so many successful people who have made it feel ashamed of their achievements? It sounds counterintuitive, right? You'd think they'd be proud, confident, basking in the glory of their hard work. Yet, many of them carry a quiet shame, a sense of discomfort about what they've accomplished. Why is that? Let's unpack it. First off, let's acknowledge that success, in itself, is a deeply personal concept. Society has all these metrics: money, fame, influence, but success looks different to everyone. So, when we talk about successful people, we're not just talking about billionaires or celebrities. We're talking about anyone who's achieved a significant goal in their life, whether it's building a business, becoming an artist, or even just hitting a personal milestone. The shame that comes with success isn't about the size of the achievement. It's about the internal relationship we have with that achievement. But here's the thing: success creates expectations. The moment you achieve something, the world starts expecting more from you. Suddenly, you're not just the person you were before. You're the successful version of yourself, and that comes with pressure. Now, people look at you differently. They expect you to keep winning, to keep achieving. And here's the mind bender: you start expecting it from yourself. You start believing that you have to live up to this new image of success, that you can't afford to fail. The weight of those expectations can be suffocating, even humiliating. Let me ask you a deep question: how much of your success is truly yours, and how much of it is a reflection of what others expect from you? This is where the shame starts to creep in. You begin to realize that the more you achieve, the less you feel like you're doing it for yourself. It's almost as if your achievements are being hijacked by society's idea of what success should look like. You're no longer chasing your dreams, you're chasing validation. Think about it. When you started out, whatever your goal was, it probably came from a place of passion or curiosity. You wanted to create something, to build something, to make a mark. But the moment you start achieving, the narrative changes. Success, for many, becomes more about maintaining the image, about not letting people down, about proving that you deserve to be where you are. The pressure to continue succeeding can turn your achievements into a burden. And here's where it gets even more twisted: success isolates you. When you're successful, you're placed on a pedestal. People start to treat you differently, sometimes with admiration, but often with jealousy or skepticism. They assume that because you've made it, you no longer struggle, that you've somehow transcended the challenges they face. But the truth is, success doesn't eliminate problems, it just changes them. Yet, because you're seen as successful, it feels harder to talk about your struggles. You're expected to have it all figured out. Admitting that you're overwhelmed, or that you don't feel worthy of your success, feels like a betrayal of the image you've built. So, you stay silent. And that silence breeds shame.
Click subscribe to this channel to get more profound spiritual lesson.
Let's pause for a second and ask another question: how often do you feel guilty when you succeed, as if you don't deserve it? This is what people call imposter syndrome, and it's rampant among high achievers. It's this gnawing feeling that, despite all the evidence of your success, you're a fraud, and it's only a matter of time before people find out. The more you achieve, the louder that voice gets. It says, "You didn't really earn this, you're just lucky, you're fooling everyone." And eventually you start to believe it. But why do we feel like imposters in our own success? One reason is that success often involves sacrifices that people don't see. Behind every achievement, There are compromises, time spent away from loved ones, personal interests abandoned, health neglected, and those sacrifices can weigh heavily, especially when you're celebrated for the outcome, but no one acknowledges the cost. It feels like a hollow victory. You have the success, but at what price? Here's a final thought to end this part: success, when disconnected from meaning, leads to shame. When we lose sight of why we're pursuing something, when the achievement becomes the goal rather than the process, success feels empty. And that emptiness is where the shame comes from. It's not that we're ashamed of the accomplishment itself, it's that we're ashamed of how little it fulfills us, despite what the world believes. Success without fulfillment, the hidden void behind achievement. Let's dig deeper into the idea that success without fulfillment creates a hidden void. This is where the shame really starts to take root. So many people work their entire lives toward a specific goal, whether it's wealth, recognition, or influence, only to achieve it and feel nothing. Or worse, they feel a sense of emptiness they weren't prepared for. Why does this happen? Why do we often feel less satisfied after we achieve what we've worked so hard for? It comes down to a fundamental misunderstanding of what success is supposed to bring us. We're told that once we make it, we'll be happy. That once we hit that milestone, everything will fall into place. But here's the thing: success is an external metric. Fulfillment is internal, and the two don't always align. You can achieve everything the world tells you is important and still feel completely disconnected from yourself, because the outside world has no idea what truly makes you tick. Let me ask you this: how often do you chase success because you think it will make you happy, only to find that it doesn't? This happens all the time. We get caught up in the race, whether it's for more money, more recognition, or more achievements, thinking that the next accomplishment will finally bring us peace. But it doesn't, because peace, satisfaction, and fulfillment don't come from achieving things. They come from meaning. And this is where the shame comes in again. When you achieve something but don't feel the joy or fulfillment you expected, you start to think, what's wrong with me? Why don't I feel happy? From the outside, people see your success and assume you're living the dream. But inside you feel like you're missing something vital, something deeper. And because success is supposed to equal happiness, you feel ashamed for not feeling it. It's like you've been given a gift that everyone else envies, but you don't even want it. This is why so many successful people quietly struggle. They climbed the ladder only to realize it was leaning against the wrong wall. They achieved what they thought they wanted, but now they're trapped by the expectations and the identity that comes with that achievement. And here's the kicker: it's hard to walk away from success. Once you've built your life around a certain level of achievement, it feels almost impossible to turn back. You feel obligated to maintain the persona of the successful person, even if it doesn't align with who you really are anymore. Let me ask another deep question: how much of your success has been about proving something to others, rather than fulfilling something inside yourself? This is a tough one to confront, but it's crucial. So much of what we chase, whether it's career success, social status, or even personal goals, comes from a place of wanting to prove our worth to others. We want to be validated. We want to be seen as valuable, capable, and worthy of admiration. But when success is driven by external validation, it can never fully satisfy us. The approval of others is fleeting, and once it fades, we're left with nothing but the hollow pursuit of the next achievement. Here's the uncomfortable truth: the approval we seek from others is often a substitute for the approval we're not giving ourselves. When we don't feel good enough inside, we look for outside measures of success to fill that void. But no amount of external success can heal an internal wound. In fact, the more we achieve without addressing that wound, the more disconnected we feel because we're constantly chasing something that doesn't really satisfy our deeper needs. And this is why successful people often feel ashamed of their achievements. They've built their lives around external accomplishments, only to realize that those accomplishments don't bring the fulfillment they were promised. They feel like they've been sold a lie, but they can't admit it because from the outside, their life looks perfect. They're supposed to be happy. They're supposed to feel proud. But inside, they're grappling with a profound sense of disillusionment. So, what's the solution? How do we reconcile the pursuit of success with the need for fulfillment? It starts by shifting our focus from achievement to purpose. Instead of asking, "What can I achieve?" we need to start asking, "What truly matters to me? What gives my life meaning?" Success in itself is not the problem. The problem is when we pursue success without understanding why we're pursuing it. When we chase external goals without connecting them to our internal values, we set ourselves up for disappointment and, ultimately, shame. In the next section, we'll explore how to align success with fulfillment and how to redefine what it means to be truly successful on your own terms. Redefining success, aligning achievement with purpose. So, we've established that success without fulfillment breeds an inner void, and that void creates shame. But now, let's get practical. How do we redefine success in a way that aligns with our purpose? How do we pursue achievement without losing ourselves in the process? This is where we need to shift from external measures of success to internal ones, a transformation that's both philosophical and deeply personal. Let's begin by asking a crucial question: what does success mean to you, and why? Take a moment to truly reflect on this. So much of what we consider successful in life has been programmed into us from the outside, whether it's societal expectations, cultural norms, or even family pressures. We're fed a narrative from a young age: success means getting a good job, making lots of money, gaining recognition, or hitting certain milestones like owning a house or starting a family. But is that your definition, or is it someone else's? Here's the trap: if we never define success for ourselves, we end up living someone else's dream. And even if we achieve everything we set out to do, if those goals were never truly ours, the end result will feel empty. We'll find ourselves asking, is this it? Is this really what I worked so hard for? And that's where the shame creeps in again, not because we failed, but because we succeeded at something that never really mattered to us in the first place. So, how do we break this cycle? The first step is to get clear on what genuinely matters to you. What are the values that guide your life? What is the deeper purpose behind your actions? Too often, we get caught up in the hustle of achieving without ever stopping to ask why we're chasing that achievement. But here's a profound insight: success without purpose is directionless. It's like running a marathon without knowing where the finish line is or why you're running in the first place. To align your success with your purpose, you need to move away from achievements that are purely about external validation and start focusing on goals that resonate with your inner self. This doesn't mean abandoning ambition or rejecting outward success. It means redefining success on your own terms that are grounded in meaning, in contribution, in joy. Let me ask you another deep question: if no one were around to see your success, would you still pursue it? This is a powerful litmus test for purpose. If the only reason you're chasing a goal is for the recognition it brings, you're likely headed down a path that won't fulfill you in the long run. But if you'd pursue that goal in isolation because it lights you up, because it aligns with your values, because it makes you feel alive, then you're on the right track. Another key to aligning success with purpose is learning to appreciate the process, not just the outcome. So much of our shame around success comes from being overly focused on the result, rather than the journey. We think that success is only valid once we've reached the top, but the truth is, the most meaningful achievements are often found in the struggle, the learning, and the growth along the way. When we embrace the process, we stop attaching our worth to the achievement itself, and we start finding fulfillment in the act of pursuing something meaningful. Finally, it's essential to remember that true success is not static. It evolves as you evolve. What felt like success to you 5 years ago might not resonate with you today, and that's okay. We often cling to outdated definitions of success because we're afraid of disappointing others, or because we've invested so much time and energy into a particular path. But growth means change, and sometimes that means redefining what success looks like for you as you continue to grow. So, the next time you feel ashamed of your achievements, ask yourself, are these achievements truly aligned with my values and my purpose? Or have I been chasing someone else's idea of success? By continuously checking in with yourself, you can ensure that the success you're building is one that feels authentic, meaningful, and deeply fulfilling. Embracing imperfection, finding peace in the journey of success. Now, as we come to the final part of this journey, we've explored why success often leads to shame, how fulfillment is key, and the importance of aligning your achievements with your purpose. But there's one more crucial element we need to address: the acceptance of imperfection. Here's the truth: no success is perfect. And yet, so many of us hold ourselves to impossibly high standards, believing that if our success isn't flawless, it's not valid. This drive for perfection can be one of the biggest sources of shame. We achieve something, but it isn't perfect enough, or we feel like we could have done more, been better, or reached higher. But here's the thing: perfection is an illusion. It's a moving target that keeps shifting the closer you get to it. Let me ask you this: when was the last time you allowed yourself to be proud of something imperfect? So often we diminish our own successes because they don't meet some arbitrary standard. But what if we started embracing our achievements, flaws and all? What if we could find peace in the imperfections, in the fact that success is messy, non-linear, and often full of setbacks? To truly overcome the shame that can come with success, we need to learn to embrace imperfection as part of the process. Success doesn't need to be pristine to be meaningful. In fact, it's often the bumps along the way that make the journey and the achievement worthwhile. If we only value the end result, we miss out on all the richness of the experience that got us there, and we set ourselves up for disappointment when things inevitably don't go perfectly. Another key to overcoming shame is learning to celebrate progress, not just the final outcome. Success isn't a single moment, it's the accumulation of many small steps, failures, and lessons along the way. When you focus on progress, you give yourself permission to be imperfect, to grow, and to evolve without the weight of unrealistic expectations. This shift in perspective allows you to see success for what it really is: a journey, not a destination. So, as we wrap up, remember, this success is not about perfection. It's about alignment, purpose, and growth. It's about finding meaning in the journey, embracing your imperfections, and recognizing that your worth is not tied to your achievements. When you can do that, the shame fades, and in its place, you find something much more valuable: peace. Peace in knowing that your success, however imperfect, is a reflection of your true, evolving self.